Okay, let me play the devil's advocate. Like there are some people who thinks that the idea of entropy is wrong because of evolution. Like, and the believers believers love this.
That's
because,
the topic of today.
Yeah, that evolution gives you order states, like human beings so complex and so structured, efficient. But if entropy is true, then we should be more like evolution should go in disorder state.
Oh my
Why
God.
evolution is allowing order state and structured, efficient being?
Evolution, it's more of a physical thing. It can be more connected to entropy than biology itself, because you can see it's a way of our universe to create more entropy. That's why evolution happened. Most of the people might ask that, why was that even important for our universe to create life in the first place?
Yeah.
This is a very common question, a very big question in fact. This is the question of us. So you see, if you can connect it with entropy, if you can connect it with physics and the very laws that govern our universe, you'll realize that, oh my god, it is actually a way of our universe to increase entropy. To become what it always wanted to become. The most chaotic thing ever. The thing that we're calling purpose, it's just an illusion. It's not real. It's created by human. We're assuming that the ant has a purpose. We're assuming that I have a purpose. I have to make this and that. But the universe is just using us.
Since the dawn of time, humanity's search for meaning has given us science, philosophy and art. But it has also given us ego, violence and the comforting lies we tell our souls when really it becomes too uncomfortable. But what all this progress worth if we continue to destroy Mother Nature herself? To believe is all, the universe is causeless, chaotic and merciless. So perhaps the truth doesn't lie in standing apart as waves, but in dissolving into the infinite sea. This is our voyage, to weave an interconnected vision of reality through epiphanic conversation. A new journey to understand who we are.
Okay.
Should I do something? No, let's just start like that.
That was the beginning. This is gonna be in the video.
Okay.
Alright.
You said that this is the beginning, so that can't be the beginning.
This will be the beginning. Everyone will see it, okay?
Okay.
Why is the Balti called Gari?
Why the Balti called Gari? Which Gari? Oh, Ghori.
I mean Gari.
Ghori detergent.
Okay, it's Gari.
पहले इस्तेमाल करो फिर विश्वास करो.
Kuch bhi.
Okay.
So there are teachers who teaches biology for 10 years, 15 years, yet they don't talk a single word about evolution.
Yeah.
That's funny. Although we have 1, 2, 3, 4% DNA inside our body, which is Neanderthal DNA, and there is no other way of explaining it except for evolution.
Yeah.
Evolution is more like the whole history of our planet. I mean, it's not that evolution is a part of biology. Biology is a part of evolution. That's what we can say. It has as much proof as anything else. As much proof as like anything, the whole city you're seeing around. What do you need to prove it?
Yeah, I was perplexed from my childhood, like when I observed this kind of teacher, because I had the similar teachers and experiences in my country, because obviously they have their beliefs. So I was always shocked, like how someone can study the subatomic particles, the evolutionary biology and the progression of different animals and the connections that we have with our brothers and sisters across all species. So how can someone just see that evidence and just remove that information from their mind? So I realized that human mind works, after when I studied later, then I realized that human mind works in isolation. So we all have isolated memories in our mind, so we don't always take into consideration of all information that we have. Like when a mother loves her children, he is not taking an account of all the evolutionary memory, like right, wrong, this and that, good, bad. It just my kid, like not my kid, this is me, extension of myself. So that information is more dominant than all the information that she or he has. Maybe, like for example, maybe a child can be in danger, so the mother will just jump out of nowhere and try to save that kid and sacrifice her own life, which is against evolution, but not against, but in a way the basics definition of evolution, like you need to save yourself and fight. But
if she gave birth to a son, then protecting it is evolutionary advantage. Like
Yeah.
she's protecting the
Yeah.
son from dying.
yeah,
so
that's true.
Good.
But I'm
But
just
also,
saying,
if you
like,
take every single thing into consideration, then you'll get into the nihilistic point of view when you'll feel like nothing makes sense. You shouldn't do anything, and you should just kill yourself. That's the best way. So yeah,
I
that's a
don't
whole
agree with
another
that. Okay.
discussion.
okay,
Although we are not killing ourselves, we are doing these things just
Yeah.
because of it's fun
yeah.
for like nothing.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I think. Like every human works in isolated buckets of memories.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise
that
we
is
can't
the only
live.
way intelligence can work. Like,
Yeah.
like if like we are seeing that right now with artificial intelligence also. Like some like those companies that are going after the artificial general intelligence, that is intelligence that can do everything and have all kinds of context. Then that model will be paralyzed and it will always hallucinate. Even a person, if I before doing this thing, if I take into consideration of everything, I will just be paralyzed.
Yeah.
Because I like it will be
Yeah.
just paralysis analysis. Like I won't be able to do anything because I will just keep on going in cause and effect cycles for infinity, and I will never do anything. So we always need a memory loss in a way. We need to forget something.
That's why intelligent peoples are stuck.
Yeah, like too much intelligence. Like intelligence, like that's not intelligence. Like that's just trying to be a all-knowing God.
Yeah.
That is not
And-
working. Like intelligence only works if you have a limited area of information, and you have put some boundaries here. Okay, this is the limit where I want to where I want to go, like as far as this. But beyond that, I will not argue. I will not reason. This much I can accept. And that's the thing that happens with people, like those people who have these beliefs and also who also practice science. Like there are people, like who are very like great in their field in scientific methodology and understanding, but they have those weird beliefs as well. So they have separated their life. Literally, they have severed their life, and right now in their mind, that's why there is no contradiction. Some people get like, I always used to ask this question to all this kind of people, like, don't you find any contradiction? How do you resolve this conflict? But they don't have any conflict because in their mind, these are two separate worlds, and they are okay with it. One is for something else. One is for their mental safety.
Tyson said it several times that a scientist, a lot of scientists works in lab and then prays in the church.
Yeah.
They keep it separate.
Yeah.
And that becomes an issue when you're teaching to a student. You get biased towards your system and not giving him the full view and no view at all. Like our curriculum, it doesn't give us any view of evolution or any topics in that neurology and stuffs of how brain works.
Mainly human genome and
Yeah.
anything related to the creation theory of their, like anything that contradicts that.
Do you think there is any major evidence against evolution? Like as all these people
Not-
say?
Okay, I will not say there are major evidence against creationism, but there isn't enough evidence to call it a scientific fact or to take it as an absolute truth. Like evolution still lacks so many essential, checkpoints and chains. Like it doesn't complete the whole cycle that
Yeah,
it claims.
and it's also huge, like billions of years long.
Yeah, because evolutionary theory is it's a progression, because we didn't come up with the theory and still we don't have a complete picture of the thing, and it's still gonna keep on developing for years and millennia to come, because this theory is like, this is the kind of, like, those people who ask this kind of question doesn't know the structure of the theory. Because evolution doesn't give you a one theory that you can put to everything. It depends on evidence. Like, and I don't know, like the evidence I'm looking for, which scientists are gonna find when. I mean, where it is buried. How can I know that sitting here?
And this
So we
is
have
the
to
fun
look for
thing.
it,
Every single time we find anything in biology, like when we discover anything in biology, we can put it in the evolutionary chart and it matches perfectly, almost all of them.
Yeah.
Some of them doesn't, but that doesn't mean evolution is just wrong.
Yeah.
And also the
Like there are
thing-
missing points, and that's why it is a theory still called.
Yeah.
But it is the best thing that we have. It's like if you argue like that, every theory that we have in science is like that. Nothing is
and
complete.
this is the ironic part. Like they can, they don't talk about evolution because of it doesn't match with their belief.
Yeah.
If Einstein's theory of relativity
Hmm.
had something to do with their belief, they would also ignore that.
Hmm.
But it doesn't. It is in physics. It's not in biology. So they all believe in Einstein's theory. They all trust the mathematics.
But I think it contradicts. But they are not, intelligent or smart enough to go through those things. It
but,
contradicts
like,
because
not directly. It does indirectly.
Yeah.
But evolution does it directly.
I mean, contradicts in the sense contradicts the idea of free will, because relativity doesn't allow you to have free will. Obviously, like if time is relative, then what is like? How can you argue
that's
for
kind of
free will? And their whole belief is based on, like, all the religions. Their belief is that you have free will, and that's the basis of their prayer and all the things that they do, their karma
but,
and everything.
Evolution, I am assuming it has more profound proofs than Einstein's theory itself.
Yeah, no,
it's still-
I won't say that, because okay, I think that the reason why people are hesitant, like even scientists who are rational, they're hesitant to stand behind this theory of evolution in a strong way, because there have been many instances in the past where some evolutionary biologists did some very bad things, like they showed some fake probes. They tried to, like, just because to spite the religious people and to destroy their religions and beliefs, so they use some fake evidence. And there are some big stories like that. Like there are some scientists who who put a human skull on top of on top of our old primate. So he put a human skull and that tried to show that, okay, we are literally connected.
Yeah,
there.
I heard that. And
that
people, the
that thing
society-
was put in the museum for a long time. So
yeah, and basically
yeah.
the religious groups or scholars, they also try to put that story. I have heard about it,
Okay.
and they use it as against the evolutionary theory. But
Yeah.
that is just a few
But that's
examples.
the human flaw, that
Yeah.
there are thousands and thousands of
And
like
the
evidence.
species, the amount of species in this planet is too much.
Yeah.
It's too much to explain just by
is true.
creationalism.
Yeah, it is
and also the
true.
time scale, that billions of years, and humanity just exists for thousands of years only. That kind of doesn't make sense, even in case of creationalism. And also creationalism in the Abrahamic religions, as Christians try to find it, is more like 6,000 to 7,000 years, with all the
Okay, it's not
branches.
Like, it's not necessary to go
Yeah.
there. There is no point. It's like
But yeah, it also kind of weird that the universe is billions of years old, while humanity just existed for a few thousand years. That doesn't kind of
yeah.
feels right.
No, I mean, we don't even in the scientific community, nobody discusses, as you know, like nobody even talks about this kind of thing. The trying to fix the this age problem with religious beliefs and
Can I
science.
ask a question?
Okay, yeah, sure, go ahead.
যেহেতু আমরা জানতাম যে হচ্ছে 99% যে হচ্ছে ইভলিউশনারি তত্ত্বগুলো হচ্ছে মানে রাইট, এই জায়গায় কোনো লুপ হোল নাই, তাহলে এই জায়গায় কি লুপ হোল আছে যেগুলো যদি একটু বলে দেওয়া হতো তাহলে খুব ভালো হতো মনে হয়, আই থিঙ্ক।
Yeah. So our director is asking, like, what are the loopholes that we are talking about in evolution? Like he thinks that evolution, it's 99% true, but there are some things that are missing, but there are no loopholes. But now that we are saying that, okay, there are some missing points in this chain of evolution that is not filling up the whole picture perfectly. So let's talk about that a little bit.
There are some issues with RNA to DNA transformation,
Yeah.
as people say. What do you think about that?
Yeah, mainly it starts the problem with the first evolutionary stuff is that origin, because till to this date we don't know the first, like, the DNA, because what is human body? First of all, what is a organism? It is just a carrier of the DNA. It's like the clothes themselves doesn't have any identity, doesn't have any shape, but the person that wears the clothes gives the shape to the clothes. How much it will gonna stretch, what the shape will be. So DNA is like that. So we say the survival of the fittest, that every organism is fighting for survival and eating and reproducing so that it can pass on its DNA. So if we just reverse the perspective, what if the DNA themselves is using you to pass on itself? You are just a vessel, just a pot the DNA
Yeah,
is
that's
using.
the
That's the
famous
theory of
stuff about
Richard
Richard
Dawkins.
Dawkins.
Yeah, the evolutionary biologist from in UK. He wrote a book, The Selfish Gene, and that's a beautiful theory.
Maybe
like,
it's not the survival of us. It's
Yeah.
not the fighting for us. It's the fighting of DNA. The DNA
Yeah.
is trying to
So we have this.
pass itself into
Yeah.
more
So
and more.
how does this DNA have this drive to pass itself
That's
to other
crazy.
species? Yeah, and like just think about it, this small nano stuff, like this small things, and like we think of survival of the fittest like as individual beings. There is an animal, he has a mind, he wants to pass on his DNA or whatever, but that's not true. He's just a vessel. We are just a vessel for the DNA to pass itself. So the DNA is the center point. That's the driver that is taking us somewhere and trying to push us in some certain
Yeah.
directions, and that's the goal they have. And
Maybe
this
that's-
this link is not explained, like why it is happening and how did it start at first, like where did life come from. So because life is basically like, what is life? Just basically just we are just carrier of DNAs. That's it. And there are some theories like life might come from space, like through some meteoroids.
Yeah,
or
that's called panspermia.
Yeah.
Panspermia.
Okay, yeah.
Now we're getting into this topic right now, that how evolution is physically and mathematically possible. It's not just a biological stuff. It's not a thing. It's a whole mathematical complex thing that is related to entropy,
Okay.
thermodynamics, and physics. And now we're getting into this topic.
Okay, go on. Like,
Okay, so
now does
let's
it make
begin.
sense? Like there are so many things, like we don't have still the connections of proven the chain of connections for our eyes, so we don't know how this complicated instrument that we have, how it evolved, where is the beginning point, what is the how it started. There are so many missing links like that doesn't explain the current structure that we have as a body and other species. So not because there are no evidence, just because we haven't find it. Like, can you imagine, like the universe or the world hasn't been collecting evidence for us just so that we can know the truth. It is scattered all over the
it's hard.
world.
It
Yeah.
happened for 5 billion years.
Yeah.
It's hard to find.
So to find all these connections, okay, from which species, and maybe the evidence are lost. Who knows? Like, obviously the universe doesn't care about.
And the
us.
evidences are like everywhere mixed. This table, it was also life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
maybe it was.
এটাও কি সত্য যে হচ্ছে প্রথমে মাস ক্রিয়েট মানে মাস তৈরি হয়েছে মানে মাস জন্ম নিয়েছে তারপর থেকেই
Like some animal, like
didn't really
are you talking
happen like
about like water creatures, like some bacteria? Yeah, the life from first emerged in water.
yeah, it emerged in water at first.
Yeah.
And animal kingdom, it began recently, like 500 million years ago
Yeah.
only. And also trees. This was also recent. The fishes, I mean, fishes in the sense the water creatures back then, they began their life before all these trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So sharks, I mean the ancestors of sharks, are actually older than trees itself.
Then how did they live? Like, what is the source? Like, didn't they need any kind of oxygen?
You know, most of the oxygen comes from under the sea, from the bacteria's planktons who can
Oh, yeah.
do photosynthesis. 80%
Yeah, yeah.
of the
Oh,
oxygen
yeah.
comes from there. These
yeah,
trees
yeah.
are
Photosynthesis
almost
is not only.
these trees are almost useless for oxygen. We use them for growing foods and getting keeping our ecosystem perfect.
Yeah.
Those trees are not really giving us much of an oxygen. Otherwise,
They
you would
are.
have died in the desert. But you don't die in the desert.
Oh, not but because we live in a one ecosystem, not the whole Earth.
But 80% of the oxygen comes from the sea.
Really, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
really,
data.
that's huge. Most of the people
Oh
doesn't
my
know
God.
that.
তাহলে কি
Okay.
সৃষ্টির কারণ মূলত অক্সিজেন মানে যার কারণে হচ্ছে এরকম কিছু এক্সপ্যান্ড হয়েছে বা এরকম কিছু বিভিন্ন কিছু গাছ থেকে শুরু করে মানে আমরা সবাই তৈরি মানে
Not oxygen.
That's a huge story if we want to talk about evolution. Would you like to talk about it today? Or
Okay,
are
let's
we going to
connect
talk
it
about
with the thing that you wanted to begin, like the thing that you prepared for our topic today, like connecting
this is
with evolution.
mainly about the physical aspect of evolution, how
Okay.
it's connected to physics.
Okay, we'll then choose the day to talk about the evolution
Yeah,
in depth.
the whole evolution,
Yeah,
we need
the
more
whole
studies
cycle,
about
yeah.
that.
Hmm.
But this is another
Okay. But does
thing.
it now make sense? Like the one thing is like there are some missing links behind all the organs that are developed, so sophisticated instruments that are there. You have this beautiful eye, this brain, all these organs. We don't know the connections of the past that helped shape the structure that you are, or other species. And another thing is that what is the drive that is there in DNA? Like, where did it come from? And why is there a drive for the DNA to pass on its DNA? Like, how did the DNA evolve? Like the first DNA, and where did it came from? So it's not a complete picture, but evolution is true. That's given. But evolution is not the origin of species, as Darwin put it. Like, we can't fully say that, okay, evolution is the cause of your existence. We can say evolution exists. Still today, evolution is happening. Your body is evolving. My body is evolving according to the environment. But I can't say that you exist because of evolution. Like, evolution caused your existence. But evolution is true. It is happening every day. And it still happens, and those things are recorded and empirical evidence that we have to support that thing.
And now it could be that evolution was the origin of species because of the physical laws. So let's begin that.
Okay.
We know about thermodynamics,
Yeah.
which is the branch of physics which discusses about thermal dynamics, which means
Heat,
heat
temperature. Yeah.
and things that moves because of heat. I mean, it just discusses about energy. And our whole universe is just energy, like everything is energy.
Yeah.
The whole universe is made out of energy. We say that the two things that are holding our universe is energy and time. And before getting into the part of time, let's clear some more things about thermodynamics. So you can say that thermodynamics is the base of our universe. It's a way to explain the whole characteristic of our universe with
The
a
flow
sentence.
of energy that
Yeah.
revolves around the world.
There are 4 laws in thermodynamics. There's the zeroth law, which says that in a closed system, any difference in temperature will be same at the end of the day. Those
Yeah.
will become equivalent to each other. And then there's the first law of thermodynamics, which says that matter and energy cannot be destroyed. So anything that exists in the universe, it will just keep existing. It won't go away, and nothing new will come up.
It will just change its form. So
Yeah.
nothing in the, like, matter and energy, meaning matter doesn't exist, obviously.
it's
Matter is
energy
just a
after all.
manifestation of the energy, some excitations. So, like, everything that we see right now, right now, the example that we take in Causeless Being is that, so if I ask somebody, like, what is this? They will say, this is water. Now, if I say, oh, is this Musa? Like, you will not say,
Yeah,
like, this is not
it's
Musa, but if I now
as
drink
soon as
it,
I drink it,
now
that
this is
water
Musa, yeah.
goes inside my cells.
Yeah.
It keeps my cells alive.
Yeah.
So
It becomes you.
I
Yeah.
become alive,
Yeah.
or I feel alive.
Yeah.
And then I call that, yes, I am alive, but what is alive is the water.
yeah.
Then I'm
we
calling
are
the
part
water
of
myself.
the same system. It's like we are first born with one cell,
Yeah.
embryo. Right now we are this big. We have this body. Now we think this is us. But what is this? This is just a food that we accumulated. And what is our mind? It's
Yeah.
just impressions.
We don't
from our
call the
surrounding.
food alive. But
Yeah.
as soon as we eat this
Yeah,
and it
this
becomes
is
a part of our
dilemma,
body,
yeah.
then we start calling it alive. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
So basically, like, the food is coming from the soil. That is part of the earth. That have come from the sun.
Yeah,
that has
no,
come from
not
the,
just from the sun. The
star.
soil came from dead
Oh.
ancestors of us,
Yeah.
dinosaurs and stuffs.
Yeah.
They died.
The
and,
microbiomes and
Yeah.
sorry, not the microbacterials that keep the soil alive and
then those way back then came from the core of different stars that were there before the sun.
yeah.
Those came from another generation of stars that were there before
so
the sun.
basically it just like changing, the energy is just changing from one form to another form.
And
That's
there is
it.
no distinction between
Yeah.
life and lifeless.
yeah.
There's no
In a way.
separation. There's no different identity.
So yeah, that's basically what the thermodynamics, first law of thermodynamics say, that energy can be
Yeah.
destroyed.
And then there's the second law, which
Yeah.
we're gonna focus on.
Okay.
The second law is called entropy. This is the most important law in the whole universe. All the laws of thermodynamics are important. These are the base of our universe. But the second law is more important because the thing that we distinct between time and energy, that second law kind of connects it. The second law says that no, time isn't something different. That is just the manifestation of the energy. How? Before that, let me clear out those people who think that time is the fourth dimension from Einstein's theory of general relativity or any other geometrical representation of time. this is just mathematical and geometrical. The Einstein theory, as it predicts it, that we have length, width, and height, and another one is time that we cannot see.
Space-time together. That's
Yeah,
also
space-time
important,
together.
not time.
That is just mathematical. You can't just say this is the time, this is the thing that is flowing towards the future. There's no evidence for this. This is mathematical, and we can work with it. We can find what's going to happen in the future. We can predict the events that's going to happen in the future with it.
Like
it's
it
good.
just, yeah, that's
But
also
that's
that's a
not
big
the-
thing. If you can just elaborate on, like, if like some people just some nowadays take it as just another fact, but if we just take a pause and just see that, okay, if I accept time as a dimension, everything get fucked up. Like dimension,
Yeah, that's
taking
a
time as a
whole
dimension
real-
means that there is no absolute present, past, or future. What is like if I just take length or width as like dimensions, then you can just go whatever you want. Right now I'm sitting here, I can just move anywhere I want. So if time is the dimension, I can also move anywhere in time. If I'm a 4-dimensional being, but we are all 3-dimensional being.
And
But
time is not a different dimension. Like the
Yeah.
length that
Yeah.
from my perspective, the thing that is length, it could be time from your perspective.
Yeah.
So if I move in my length, you might say that, oh, I am moving in the time.
Yeah.
You'll see me, I am going from past to future or future to
Yeah.
past. But I will say I'm just going forward and backward.
Yeah.
You'll be fucked up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now
I
that's a
haven't thought
whole
about
another
that.
thing. This
Okay.
was one of my favorite theories of all time. I studied a lot about this. So we
Yeah.
can
Okay.
take another whole day about talking about this one.
Okay, let's go back to the entropy. Yeah. What is
Yeah.
entropy?
So if not, we just take time as a dimension. As entropy explains it, is that time is just disorder. The thing that we say that we're going forward in time, or we just can go towards the future, never the past. This is explained by entropy. Let's say this is a mug, which is made out of ceramic. So it looks beautiful. Look at that. This is so perfect, so ordered, so, we love it.
Okay.
But as soon as I remove my hands from this place, it will fall, it will shatter, it will become disordered, and
Yeah.
it's never gonna come back to order. It's never gonna be a mug again. It's never gonna be that beautiful again. So you see, as time progresses, things just shatters and becomes disordered. Now, if I wanna make it ordered again by rearranging all the pieces, it can be a mug again. It can be beautiful, not that beautiful though.
Okay.
But the energy that I'm gonna use to recreate this thing,
Again. Yeah.
the amount of heat my body will produce will be more than the energy it costed for this mug to fall and shatter.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you can see energy just
Increase.
disorders itself. It
The
just
disorder
becomes chaos.
increases. Yeah.
You use oil in your car, which is ordered, which is good.
Yeah.
But as soon as you use it, you can't use it anymore.
Yeah. You burned it and you created more disorder.
It becomes so chaotic, you can't use it anymore. It fucked up. So the whole universe runs like this. Our sun, that's beautiful, that's like structured, but it gives us the energy, it gives away the lights.
Yeah.
That light, once it's out of the sun, once we use a bit, it can't be used anymore. If our solar panels take the energy and it radiates it as infrared heat, it can't be used anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone. So you see, everything becomes chaotic.
Everything just moves from order state to disorder
disorder.
state,
And that
that's
is entropy.
Yeah.
And this is what we call forward in time.
And
because
that's
because of everything is becoming disordered,
yeah.
everything is
and
becoming...
nothing can go back. Okay, let me play the devil's advocate.
Okay.
Like there are some people who thinks that the idea of entropy is wrong because of evolution. Like, and the believers
yeah.
believers love this
That's
because
the topic of today.
yeah, that evolution gives you order states, like human beings so complex and so structured, efficient. But if entropy is true, then we should be more like evolution should go in disorder state.
Oh my
Why
God.
evolution is allowing order state and structured, efficient beings?
That's amazing to think that you have got to the same exact point of this video. I mean, our brain is so crazy. You predicted that like from nowhere. So yeah, this is the question of
last
today.
day our director was asking me this question and we were talking about it.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
Yeah, he has a very inquisitive mind.
That's a very important thing, and that's literally the topic of today, that we humans are so beautiful, so complex. Our body is so structured, it's so ordered. So isn't that against evolution? Isn't that against entropy as a whole?
Yeah.
Because our universe just becomes chaotic, it just becomes so much disordered. Then how did we humans, the most ordered thing in the whole universe as long as we know,
Came to
how did we
exist.
came out? Now, it isn't just about evolution. We also see it in the daily lives. I'm getting into the examples. But before, I want to say that most of the people who are learning science and most of the people who gets into pop science or popular science, they learn about entropy a lot. They know about entropy. But one of the topic that they forget is called complexity, which is also known as the wife of entropy.
Yeah.
That's very important. It's the wife of entropy.
The troubled wife. Yeah.
Yeah, it causes trouble.
Yeah.
So let me say how. At first, the Big Bang happens. Although we're not talking about Big Bang today, we don't know what actually happened, but whatever.
The expansion happened.
Yeah, the whole expansion happens. The entropy increases like hell. The whole universe expands like hell, more than the speed of light. Everything becomes so disordered. Everywhere is just gases and stuff. So messed up. So, what is the first thing that comes after this chaos? It is the subatomic particles, right? Electrons, quarks, and stuffs. Then what do they form? They forms atom in the very first place. The hydrogen atom, the nucleus, and then the electrons start orbiting them. Then the helium atom. And then they come together and forms huge stars, larger, thousands of times larger than our sun. These are the very first generation stars of our universe.
Okay,
Now look,
guys, don't like quote us on the exact progression. That we have missing some details like the gas
Yeah.
clouds and everything. We are just going fast.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
that's the main. That's not the main topic. We are not teaching you how the evolution.
yeah, that's not the main topic of today.
Okay,
But
so let's.
you know,
talk about
everything
the-
is interconnected, so we need to talk about everything.
Yeah.
So you can see everything is becoming ordered in a way. Isn't that weird?
like
Because
yeah,
entropy
stars. Yeah, like
yeah,
first the
our
Big
universe
Bang
supposed to
happened.
be in the very first state, as it were, like messed up, totally messed up. Everything is scattered everywhere. But how the heck the atoms are forming? How the heck those huge stars are forming? These
Yeah,
are
why are they
systematic,
forming? Like
right?
if entropy is true, then why
And that
ordered
thing-
things are coming into existence?
That thing, bro, is called complexity.
Okay.
So let me show you a graph. I need to draw it. Give me some time, man. Okay. Sometimes acting is very important. Okay, so here you're gonna see the progression of time. So this is Big Bang, this is today, whatever. So the entropy, this is also the line of entropy. The entropy is increasing. Okay, let's say this is the line of entropy. So you can see the entropy is increasing from the beginning of our universe, indeed. So what happens is that there is another thing called complexity, the wife of entropy. From the beginning, it rises, and then it falls, rises again, then it falls, rises again, then it falls, it rises again. So let's say this is Big Bang, and the whole universe is scattered, it's messy, it's like chaos everywhere. So this is the state, the very first state of our universe, this part. But then what happens is the complexity increases. The entropy is always increasing, for sure, but the complexity also starts increasing like hell. And what is that complexity? Is the atoms that are forming. It is
Yeah.
the stars that are forming. Those things are becoming complex. It seems like those are going against entropy. Kind of like how wives disturbs us in our important works. Although we don't have wives yet, but we know it.
Children's.
Also children's.
Yeah, we are children's. Yeah.
Yeah, so the complexity also starts increasing, which feels like it's against entropy, it's going backwards of entropy. But look, let's say the star forms, huge stars. It ages, and then it explodes.
Yeah.
Then the entropy,
Even
it increases like never before. It increases like more than ever before.
yeah.
Because an explosion of an star was like the most violent thing back then. Now the most violent thing is the merging of black holes, because back then black holes didn't exist. So back then that was the most violent thing that ever could be.
Yeah.
That increased more entropy than what it would have if there was no stars at all.
Yeah.
So you can see the atoms are forming, things are becoming more complex, and then the star explodes. The entropy increases more than ever before.
Yeah.
Then what happens? From the remaining of the exploding stars, new generation of stars form. They explode. They create black holes. Those things create Hawking radiation. Those things creates galaxies. Those things creates more stars. Those explodes. Those creates more and more entropy than ever before.
Yeah.
So the entropy is just increasing by creating complexity.
Yeah.
Complexity rises and then the explodes, the complexity falls down. But then it also rises because of another generation of stars form. Then it falls down.
So if we just have to take a bigger picture. So
Yeah.
so people who get asked this question doesn't realize that that the universe is they don't take the view of the whole universe. They just take a narrow time scale.
Yeah,
That,
yeah.
okay, evolution is happening, stars are forming, human beings are being more efficient, or animals are evolving. But that's just a narrow time scale. If I just zoom out and see that, okay, what they're doing actually, like what humans are doing.
We
right
humans
now.
are building atom bombs. We're building huge
Yeah.
buildings and
Yeah.
exploding the earth. We're increasing the temperature of the earth.
Yeah.
We're increasing the entropy more than
Yeah.
if there was no life in this planet.
Yeah.
Like, let me give you some more example, not just evolutionary example, but any example. Like the cup example I gave. If it shatters at once and then I want to recreate that, if I want to make this ordered again, then my body loses more heat. It makes more entropy.
And you need more
then-
energy to even put it together. Some machines
Yeah.
and other.
If I just keep it like this and remove my hand, it won't cost me more
Yeah.
not a lot of energy, but it's
Yeah.
gonna shatter and it's gonna
Yeah.
become chaotic. That is entropy for sure. But then when I recreate it, when I put every pieces together, my body is gonna lose more heat, more energy than it needed for this glass to fall and shatter. So I am causing more entropy.
Yeah.
And you're calling me ordered, you're calling me intelligent, but I'm causing more entropy.
We are intelligent, but we are intelligent in creating more disorder.
Yes.
So complexity helps more, efficient things to come to existence, so that those things can create a larger chaos, bigger, chaos and disorder than what was necessary to create them. So what the amount of energy was necessary to create human beings or disordered states.
But
Those
we are
things-
actually showing
yeah.
middle finger to that energy.
Yeah.
We are actually causing more entropy. We're using more energy. We're destroying more energy in order to leave. All these buildings you see,
Yeah.
evolution didn't need that much energy to even produce us.
Yeah.
In the whole history of billions of years,
Yeah.
I think
We have destroyed
it
all
needed
the
less
humans-
energy than the whole city you're seeing here.
Like all other animal species,
Yeah.
and all the world is literally in hell because of us.
So the most common example that people needs in order to learn entropy is the example of a refrigerator or air conditioner, because
Yeah.
these things cools down our room,
Yeah.
which is less temperature or things that are cold like ice. These things are known as more structured, more ordered thing.
Yeah.
When the ice melts, it's water, it's slippery, it's messy, it's more disordered.
Yeah.
The temperature has risen. So most of people ask that if I am using a fridge, I'm creating ice from water. So isn't that against entropy? Isn't that entropy in backwards?
Yeah.
But that fridge in the power station, which is powering the fridge through electricity,
Yeah.
it is burning coals, it is burning like hell, it is increasing entropy 10 times more than the fridge is needing in order to make the water into ice again. So ultimately the entropy is increasing.
Yeah.
In every single ways, we're wasting so
Yeah.
much energy.
You just have to zoom out, man.
Yeah, you need the whole picture,
You are
bigger
not.
picture.
You are not a person living in a particular city. You are not. I'm not a person living in Tangail. I am living in a piece of rock on top of a rock that is floating around in the space. You have to like zoom out like that. I am not some guy walking around San Francisco and drinking coffee from
I mean,
Starbucks.
stupid shit,
Yeah.
made out of shit, made out of meaty materials, so much,
No. You
So
don't
you
have to
think we're
discuss
bad?
it. Like that's
I mean, we are, but who says we are not?
like the idea of disgust is.
We are
it
gross.
Also, it's a human term, and it's in your
Yeah,
mind.
it is.
Yeah. It just.
But
matter
there's
and
no point of
energy.
thinking ourselves as so big, the top of creation and stuff. And this is the point of today, that evolution, it's more of a physical thing. It can be more connected to entropy than biology itself, because you can see it's a way of our universe to create more entropy. That's why evolution happened. Most of the people might ask that, why was that even important for our universe to create life in the first place?
Yeah.
This is a very common question, a very big question, in fact. This is the question of us. So you see, if you can connect it with entropy, if you can connect it with physics and the very laws that govern our universe, you'll realize that, oh my god, it is actually a way of our universe to increase entropy. To become what it always wanted to become. The most chaotic thing ever. So yeah, then maybe evolution is just due to physics, and there is no way we can
Yeah.
disagree with evolution.
Yeah. So yeah, right now that I think answers your question. Like, is evolution is fully provable, or does it goes with physics, the
And
physical
this
laws?
is one of
So
another
now
thing that I
he
say
just,
is that evolution is not a thing. So
Yeah.
it's not a thing to prove.
Yeah.
It's a time scale that we are talking about. And now as we understand, it's perhaps a time scale of increasing entropy. Which is there nothing to prove because we already see that. And there's no way you can prove entropy because everything always goes forward. It is what we live through. If you even want to prove entropy, you're increasing entropy. So if you want to prove it, you are already proving it.
Yeah.
There's no need for proof for that
So
because
he's
that's what
basically
we are.
saying that entropy itself, like the law of taking things from disorder states to order states, that's what evolution is, right? Like, it takes disorder state to more ordered and efficient things. It makes
That's
things
complexity.
better, right? Like, we becomes more efficient and better. Every species gets developed. It synchronizes with its surroundings so that it can survive better. So that's the law of evolution. But the law of entropy, the physics, the physical law of the whole universe says something else. It says that entropy will take things from order state to disordered, and that's how universe works. So
But complexity makes it ordered again
Yeah.
while disordering in the background.
yeah. So evolution helps entropy to even rise further, because the ordered things and the efficient beings that evolution is creating is actually creating more entropy. So that's the catalyst for entropy. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is also what we call time. That's why we say that time is going forward and this stuff. So, like, just by thinking of the universe, you can take evolution into your hand. Like, evolution is not a biological thing. It's just a way of physics. It's just a way of our universe to increase entropy, as it always wanted.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we call time. This is the main goal or the main thing our universe always does.
I didn't think we call it time, but it's actually not time. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not actually time. It's
yeah,
just
it's something else.
becoming
Like, the name is
disordered.
very wrong for the name time for this progression of entropy. Like, it doesn't match with the definition of time or the understanding of time a human has, like we have as a civilization. But
yeah, our language isn't
doesn't work
compatible with this stuffs. We didn't create our
Yeah.
language for that.
Yeah.
But if you get it, you get it. Like, I hope you got this. It's very easy to get all of this.
Yeah.
Yet just our brain says, no, don't think about that. Because once you think about it, the whole view around you becomes so awkward.
Yeah.
You don't want to live the same way
Yeah.
as you were.
And for all of you to get a more structured understanding of what we are discussing, in our Patreon community, I wrote an article about it, like why did the universe create life, explaining all these things in a more succinct and concise and structured way. So you can check it out if you guys.
Yeah,
want.
that was cool.
Yeah.
Like, there's more things. It's gonna make you emotional.
Yeah, and we have ended in a very good tone in the article. Like, here we are not talking about the philosophical stuff, but there we have given you a more better perspective on how to take this information and use it as a fuel for your happiness. Like, it doesn't make you sad. Oh, we are just a machine that just creates more entropy in the whole universe. That's not the only perspective that science offers. There's another thing. And read the article. And if you like our work, then please support us on Patreon. We
And
need
now
all the help.
there's the big thing that is very important to understand, because humanity is going towards the future and we need to develop. So you see, all these buildings and stuff, they were built through capitalism, through entrepreneurs and businessmen, right? Now, capitalism, as long as I kind of believe, is that it's also a byproduct of evolution and entropy.
Okay.
Because as we have discussed, evolution is also a byproduct of entropy. So it's
yeah.
everything's entropy. That's why time is going forward. Yeah. So in capitalism, we're gonna differentiate between capitalism and communism. We're gonna see the differences from evolutionary and physical perspective. So you see, in communism, everyone is equal. Everyone's getting the same amount of thing. There's no lower class and upper class. Maybe there is, but there's not much difference. One is controlling everyone, giving them the same amount. No one has their own thoughts. No one can create their own business and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stuck. From a physical, from a thermodynamical, from a entropical, from a evolutionary perspective, if you
Okay.
think of it, it is stuck.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. No entropy is happening. Entropy is very low.
So it will not work for a long time.
Yeah, no complexity is happening. No complex system is getting born. There's no lower class, no upper class. There is no wave like this.
Yeah.
That wave of complexity. It goes up and down. There's no up and down. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
That's why communism didn't succeed. That's why communism never
Like,
became
the
improved.
universe is against sustainability.
Yeah,
You guys have to be violent, and you guys.
Yes, our universe wants violence because that increases in entropy. That's why we are violent. That's why capitalism is violent.
Yeah.
In capitalism, there is higher class and lower class. The lower class
The
becomes
flow of
angry.
money is there. Yeah.
Yeah, then they becomes angry.
Flow
They
of
start
power.
war. War happens. The businessmen's fight. The lower class suffers. Like, it's a whole level of complexity. These buildings you see, these huge structures, these are complex structures. Then what happens? These buildings falls down in war. These buildings crashes in earthquake. More entropy happens than ever before. Our universe wants us to become capitalistic.
Yeah.
Our universe wants us to become rich and build these
Trump will
buildings.
love it.
Yeah, Trump will say, I've learned a lot from this guy. I've learned a lot. I'm gonna
love it.
make more money. I'm gonna put more tariff. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you see, our universe wants capitalism.
Yeah.
From a physical perspective, from a mathematical perspective, capitalism is the only way to go forward in time.
Yeah.
And if we use communism, it's not doing entropy, it's not doing complexities, it's stuck like hell.
But happiness can only comes from communism. But not no, I don't think happiness. But yeah, like happiness for all living in La La Land, it can only happen in dreams and in heaven, like which is also dreams. But in reality, like the idea of the literally the law of economics doesn't allow you to have capitalism, communism. Like in
Yeah.
economics, you need always poor people to
Yeah.
work to do the jobs that will help you
It's
flow.
not economics,
Like, there
it's
needs to be a flow of
physics.
money that goes from up and down, like that revolves. Like, but in communism, if everyone is in the same structure, in the same plane, there is no flow of money.
I hope you guys get something that economics, evolution, biology,
Yeah.
being rich, being
It
a
is not
businessman,
fair.
these are not different things.
Yeah.
These are all in the same category
Yeah.
of physics that we call entropy. In fact, physics itself is just thermodynamics.
Yeah.
Like everything is the same thing, energy. And also the time that we say, except for the human perspective of time, it is also just the manifestation of energy being disordered, like the same thing as entropy. Why do we call we are going in forward in time? Because things just become disordered.
Yeah.
If that glass fell down
Yeah.
and it didn't break,
I think this is a much better like example that you use. Like if everything stays the same, nothing changes in the whole world. Like for infinity, everything is the same. Then do you ever feel
won't
time?
you-
We won't feel any sense.
there
of
is another
time.
thing. You won't even feel the sense of time because your body needs heat and electricity,
Yeah.
and it increases the entropy. So
Yeah.
if it is stuck, you are stuck. The whole universe is stuck. Who is experiencing? There is no time.
Yeah, there is no progression of. There is no change. There
Yeah.
is nothing. Like entropy is basically change.
So entropy
Yeah.
is the time that
Yeah.
we are saying that is going forward.
Yeah.
Not our perspective, not the year, months, and weeks.
Some
Those
people
are not the
might
same
call
thing.
it peaceful, but I call it boring. Man, but boring is non-existent. Like, maybe
don't
it
exist. This is
yeah.
like-
Maybe that is a different kind of existence. But still, like, can you imagine? Like, can we even imagine something that is not that where there is no change?
No, not really. When
Like-
you imagine it,
Yeah.
you imagine that you are seeing the planet is stuck, you're seeing the star is stuck, you're seeing the person is stuck, but how
Everything
can you
is still.
see? Because
Yeah.
the
Yeah, the
photons
seeing
need to come
itself,
out,
yeah.
and that is also increasing the entropy. So you can't really
Yeah.
think of it. It's kind of
Yeah.
like thinking about nothing, but you can't think about nothing. When you think about nothing, you think about something black, but black is a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, my speed came out. It's so
It's
exciting.
okay. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
The universe
This
doesn't
was-
want us to be happy. Yeah.
this was the main
Please.
topic of today,
Okay.
and then we can talk about evolution as a whole.
Okay.
For the normal viewers and our director.
Okay. Okay. So what do you have to ask? Does it make sense? Any of this? All these stupid people, dumb, mad people, what they're talking about?
ক্যাপিটালিজমে স্টিল যদি তোর হচ্ছে মানে যেরকম ধনীদের কারণে যদি গরিবরা কনসিকুয়েন্স যদি তোর মানে কনসিকুয়েন্স ওরা যদি দেখে তাহলে হচ্ছে মানে এই জায়গায় কমপ্লেক্সের সাথে যে কানেকশনটা কি
হ্যাঁ।
যে অ্যাকচুয়ালি এর সাথে কমপ্লেক্সিটির সাথে যেটা কানেকশনটা কি যে ওই হচ্ছে এন্ট্রপি আর কমপ্লেক্সিটির সাথে এই জায়গায়
Okay.
এন্ট্রপি তো
So-
সবসময় অর্ডারে আর হচ্ছে ডিসঅর্ডার এই দুটো জিনিসটার হচ্ছে মানে অনেকটা ব্যালেন্স মানে ডিসব্যালেন্সটা ব্যালেন্স করা ট্রাই করে যেটা কমপ্লেক্সিটি সাহায্য করে আর কি তো এই ক্ষেত্রে তো হচ্ছে ক্যাপিটালিজমের ক্ষেত্রে
Balance করা সাহায্য করে না. It increases the disorder.
Okay,
Like,
let's say it to the
disorder
viewers
বাড়ায়.
together.
Okay,
So,
first you paraphrase
our-
the question. Like he
Our
asked.
director
You-
is asking that what is actually the connection of complexity with the rich people and the companies and the structures that businessmen, entrepreneurs create, and the poor people. How does it actually creates the complexity, and how the complexity breaks and bursts into more entropy? Okay, it's quite obvious to understand that the businessmen, entrepreneurs, they build huge structures, right?
Yeah.
These buildings, these
they
humongous
have a hunger.
structures. Yeah,
Capitalism gives you a hunger that communism doesn't.
huge factory, complex
Yeah.
complex factories, this complex city, the complex roads, and every single structure humanity has ever built. In fact, your phone, your device, all these things.
Yeah.
These are created by the rich people, and the poor. These are started by the rich people from their ideas, from their complex brain. I mean, this is so weird to talk about because the brain is again the complex thing that is building this complex stuff that is kickstarting the whole thing. And then there are the poor people or the lower class people who are actually giving their time.
Us. We are the lower class people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
পুয়ার পিপলের গ্রাফে কোন জায়গায় আছে অ্যাকচুয়ালি
Okay. If I want to show the graph,
We'll show the graph in the video.
yeah, but let me show you guys that.
Haha.
So the poor people is building for the rich people. Let's say this is the beginning of the city. Okay, there is nothing in the place. It's just a field. This is the beginning of the city, and this is as time progresses, the city becomes larger, and the entropy definitely increases because that's how the universe works after all. So what happens is that there are rich people who gets a good idea of doing something.
Poor can
entrepreneurs.
also get a good idea. The
Yeah,
poor
they
people.
can. Then they can become rich.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean,
yeah.
people who gets ideas,
Oh,
like
yeah.
entrepreneurs, like what we're doing too. We're the catalysts of
Yeah.
making the whole chain happen. So they get an idea,
Hmm.
then they take all the poor people, lower class people, and then they work to build something huge, some sort of building and stuff. So this building, by building the building, the entropy increases because the building is a complex, huge structure. So you see, a building is a complex structure. So the complexity increases, the entropy also increases. But then, when the building starts running for all people and everyone, or if it's a different scenario, when the building gets destroyed because of some sort of war or anything, it crashes, and then the entropy increases more than ever before. There is two ways you can think of it. One is a smaller scale, one is a larger scale. So in the smaller scale, the poor people, they build the building, the entropy increases, the complexity increases too, but it keeps increasing because people come to the building, they work in the building. The sun is giving us light, and it's going to give us for 10 billion years. I mean, it gave us 5 billion years before, and it's going to give us more 5 billion years. So in this 10 billion years, not much bursts or entropy is happening in the sun. It is giving us in a small chunks of light each day, specific chunks of light, but it's not like it's bursting suddenly.
Okay.
So in the same way, when the building is once made, it isn't just bursting or getting destroyed. People are coming there. A specific amount of energy is getting radiated out into the air and the surrounding environment each day.
Huh?
এই যে যদি যেরকম একটা কাহিনী হয় যে হচ্ছে ইউনিভার্সের ক্ষেত্রে আমাদের তো মানে বিল্ডিং তৈরি করার ক্ষেত্রে কি একজন অন্টারপ্রেনার চিন্তা করলো ওর মাইন্ড মানে ওর মাইন্ডে কমপ্লেক্সিটি চিন্তা করলো যে হচ্ছে বিল্ডিংয়ের শেপ এমন হবে। তারপর ইউনিভার্স মানে হচ্ছে যখন ওই যে এক্সপ্যান্ড হওয়ার সময় বিগ ব্যাংয়ের সময় তখন কি ওদের কি মাইন্ড আসলো অ্যাকচুয়ালি এরকম, নাকি অ্যাকচুয়ালি মানে ওই কমপ্লেক্সিটি এমন আর কি যে আমাদের মাইন্ডটার এরকম কমপ্লেক্সিটি করেছে যে নেচারটাই এমন আর
That's a very
Our director is asking a very like a Sporsho. His name is Sporsho. He is asking a very like he's a more fundamental question like why is there any need
this is
for
one of the
entropy?
most fundamental question of quantum mechanics. When I learned about quantum mechanics, this question came to me again and again, that whether we
The question
humans are
is
actually
the question is please let's just say the question.
yeah,
The question
I am
is
saying
that,
it.
Okay, do it.
Whether I'm saying it in a scientific way, whether we humans really have our free will or soul, or is it just the atoms that are playing its own entropy and complexity game that is making us think about all these complex structures and all these buildings and stuff, and it is making us build these things.
Yeah.
Not that we are building it, it is making us do every single thing.
Yeah.
Moving this cup,
Like, these are not
moving
even
everything.
important. These are just processes that it is using or mechanisms
And we don't know the
to
answer.
create more entropy. Like
It's-
he's asking a very like a more fundamental question like why
Yes.
is there the desire, like what is the desire
Is
coming
there
from
any desire in the
particles?
first place?
No, not desire. I will not say desire. Like why the particles themselves or the universe is going for entropy, like moving towards entropy. Like why? That's the way that we don't know why. We just
Yeah.
know the laws of the universe. That's the problem. Like physics, like right now, even the Big Bang. Like it's not Big Bang again. Like the Big Bang is not the not a theory of the origin of the universe. It's a theory of the evolution of the universe. Does it make sense? Like
Yeah.
The Big Bang explains what
In fact,
happened.
we are
after
living in
the-
Big Bang
yeah.
right now. We are also
Exactly.
living in Big Bang all the
Right
time.
now.
We'll
So,
always live in a Big Bang.
It is like what happened after the split second, like when the infinite dance thing that expanded, like it's expanded. Nothing. What there was no bang happened. Like
And you know what?
there was no
You forgot
boom
your-
blast. There
You
was just
forgot
expansion.
your own theory or hypothesis
What?
that we have talked back before, because
What is
you
it?
see entropy or the increasing of order to chaos. It's a very human thing, isn't it? We humans maybe think about it, but the photons. Do you remember that the photons are existing everywhere? So entropy isn't actually happening. The universe is static. The photons, because they don't experience time, they're existing everywhere at the same time. The experience of time, the experience of order to disorder, it's probably just inside our human brain. Probably it's not true for our whole universe. Probably our universe is static and everything is just photon.
Can
it's
you
just
explain that a little bit more? I know.
Now,
I just remember.
that's-
that's the more abstract. Like just the
wasn't that supposed to be a different topic?
Yeah, just explain that now that you have mentioned it.
Okay, yeah. So look, everything runs by thermodynamics, which is the base of our universe.
Yeah.
Thermodynamics talks about energy, heat, and ultimately heat or energy or heat or energy, the same thing.
Okay.
This is what runs our universe. We know that high pressure always tends to fill up the low pressure. That's how entropy happens, but I didn't went to the scientific stuff here, mathematical stuff. So the whole play is being done by the photon, which is the particle of the electromagnetic field, which does everything that we know about light, heat, energy, electricity, magnetism, and almost anything that you can see with your fucking eyes and anything that you can feel. That is what holding the atom together. That's what you literally feel
That's what
through.
energy is.
Yeah.
Photon.
So photon is the player of everything in our universe.
Yeah.
Not the three other laws though.
Okay.
The three other main forces: the weak nuclear force, the strong nuclear force, and the gravity. We don't know what the gravity is up to, but we don't know what's the photon's role on those exactly. But except for that, electromagnetism, which is the
So
basis of
theory is-
entropy,
Yeah. So the theory is.
which is the main field for entropy, it runs through photon. So if that is the case, then think of it. Photons, they travel the speed of light because that is light, and anything that travels in the speed of light, it doesn't experience time.
Yeah, it doesn't have any time.
Yeah,
Past,
it
present,
doesn't.
future.
It cannot have any time for itself,
Yeah.
and it
Oh,
also
and we
doesn't
know
have
it
any
from
mass.
Special theory of relativity that was proposed by Einstein in 1905. So he proved that explained that time is relative and something that moves in the speed of light, meaning time.
Yeah, that
it
has
doesn't
stuff
have
to do
any-
with four dimension and stuffs.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's a different
So something
topic
that
indeed.
moves in the speed of light doesn't have time.
Yeah, and it will keep
And
moving in
photon
the speed of
itself,
light
the light
always.
photon, like the sun, the light and the energy basically, it is moving in the speed of light. So it doesn't have any time. So now the theory is,
So, if the basis of our universe is photon, regarding to all these concepts,
yeah,
then if photon doesn't experience time,
yeah.
maybe, just maybe, our universe does not have any time at all. Maybe our universe is just static, and it is just our fucking human brain which thinks that time is going forward, entropy is increasing, but our actual universe is just static. It was always in a static increasing entropy
I
state.
don't think it's only human brain. I think it's,
Yeah, it can be
just-
all the animals.
not only
or-
animals. I mean, the entropy is happening for sure, I think, but the difference here is that, like, there are different layers of reality. Like there are different structures of reality. I think, for example,
Yeah.
we can
And
divide
we are
it
in a
into
structure
divide
that-
it into apparent reality. Like the theory in our Causeless Being philosophy is that there is apparent reality, that is like the social reality and the reality that we create through language, and there is empirical reality, that the physical laws of the universe, and there is something called absolute truth, like the absolute reality that doesn't changes. So I
yeah,
think
wait.
all these things, the laws that
And-
governs these three layers of reality are different, right? Like, for example, like the things that we are talking about here, the photons, like that is, I think that is more fundamental, that is more in the quantum realm. That is not true for the macro world. Like in the macro world, entropy exists.
I mean,
It's not in the human brain
Do
only.
we need to differentiate that much? Because you see, different animals, they
Uh-huh.
have different reaction times. They perceive times differently. The cats,
Yeah.
they
Oh.
perceive times faster than us. The entropy in their brain happens more frequently than us. That's why they are perceiving the time faster. Maybe the bacteria, they perceive time very slowly.
It's not about. I'm not talking about mainly about the subjective experience. I'm talking about the stars, the planets, and the movement in the whole universe. Like that's entropy, and that's going towards disorder.
But I'm
Like the
saying about
expansion
the
of the universe.
experience of entropy, how we are actually perceiving the
yeah,
entropy.
that
Then
is- yeah.
every animal, every single life form in this planet, they're experiencing it in a different way.
Hmm.
And that doesn't mean that you need to have eyes for that. Bacteria are doing it, but they're definitely slower because, not slower. I mean, the life forms that exist for longer, very longer, they tend to experience time slowly. And the life forms that exist for like less amount of time, like humans, we experience it as we are experiencing it right now. And it's not even the same all the time. When you are like in adrenaline mode, when you're in a very exciting mode, when you'll jump from this building, you are gonna capture every single frame. When you're falling down, you're gonna remember it more. It will feel like
What you're saying is basically the processing of information. Please bring the water. Let me talk. So what you're saying mainly about, I think, is the processing of information. So as we know, like our brain is a prediction machine, and the more we age, or the more a brain is developed, or like depending on the evolution memory it has, it processes time less. So if I'm maybe 50 years old, then that person will experience time faster. Why?
because he has the
Because
memories.
he has
His
the
brain
all-
doesn't
yeah,
need to.
his brain will not process all
experience.
the experiences.
It
all
just
the sensory,
predicts.
all the sensory inputs that it is getting. So the experience will not be that much vivid. It will just move like so fast. And
That's what I'm saying.
but when you are a child, the time feels much more slower. Like every year it takes a lot of time to just pass the whole day.
So we're
It's more
every
vivid.
animal, every life form,
Yeah.
even in every stage of the life, in different moments, they're experiencing the flow of time, or what we call entropy,
Yeah.
in different ways. So it's not the same. So maybe in some extent, no one is actually experiencing entropy, or in some extent, the experience of entropy is the highest. So then it means that
What are you saying?
entropy is just a subjective experience,
No, no,
but
no.
not a universal thing. Because also in case of, if we talk about photons, they're not experiencing time. So they, from their perspective, the whole universe is there at the same time, from the Big Bang to the infinity. All is existing in the same time, in the same place, all the time.
I don't think that's exactly the theory I came up with, but it's different what you are saying. We talked about something else, but also this is also interesting. Like, but it's still I'm not fully convinced.
Yeah, we are not fully convinced about that.
Like when you say the universe is static in that way, and it's just in a sustainable place, like everything is just still based on that idea of motion and the speed of light. Like then, what is happening everywhere else? Like us. the
We now
star.
went to the rabbit hole. We're losing our languages. That's the time for thinking, not the time for speaking, I think.
Yeah.
So if we were photons, some sort of life form which is like photons, very small, and which can travel very close to the speed of light, never the speed of light, because we're gonna have mass, and anything with mass cannot travel at the speed of light at all, ever.
And there are no changes in photons, like because it is moving in the speed of light, and entropy is not
Yeah, and
there.
if photon is the base of thermodynamics,
Yeah.
then if that doesn't experience time, if
But
that
there are
doesn't
other
change,
particles now that has energy. That's also a problem. That's the thing that I was saying. Like it's
but
not the only
though
thing.
if those have masses, and as we know, mass is
Oh.
a fake thing, to be exact.
Yeah, those things can lose mass. Like what about electron?
Mass is an illusion.
Yeah,
It is just the
obviously.
interaction with Higgs field which keeps it in a single place. It doesn't let us move the whole thing. That's why it feels like, oh my gosh, it's taking energy to move. Oh my gosh, it has mass.
Yeah.
But it is just an illusion. Mass never, that is nothing.
But uh, but still, what about like we can take the example of photon and declared all these things, like come to a conclusions about all these things in this way. But if I take just other particles that has masses, then these things that's a separate world now, and that exists. That's also existence.
That was the problem when we was discussing about this thing many days ago. But other particles, they interact with the Higgs field. I mean, don't say they have masses. I don't like that term at all. Just say they interact with Higgs field.
Yeah.
And now the Higgs field is the main problem. We don't really know much about the Higgs field. And it's not that we need to just know about Higgs field, or Higgs field is gonna solve everything. I mean, so many things are missing together. Maybe we can get to the conclusion by other fields or something else that we have no idea about. Dark energy, dark matter.
Okay, cut. What do
Yeah.
you want to talk about today? Let's start there. My eyes are burning because of the sun.
It's
What is
done.
the
We wanted to talk about how evolution is.
But the
connected
topic
with
was
entropy.
very small.
Yeah, it was small because the other half is gone last day.
Yeah. আমার মাথা এক্সাম বলাইতেছে না।
মাথা গরম হয়ে গেছে।
আচ্ছা ওটা বাদ দে, একটা
রোদে।
জিনিস খেয়াল করছো
হ্যাঁ।
যে হচ্ছে
আমার চোখ জ্বলতাছে।
এই পৃথিবীতে প্রত্যেকটা প্রাণীর কোনো না কোনো উদ্দেশ্য আছে। যেমন দেখি যে পিঁপড়া জায়গায় দেখতে তখন তো দৌড়াইতেছে, মানে ও খাবারের উদ্দেশ্যে কোনো না কোনো জায়গায় যাইতেছে।
Why is there hunger?
হ্যাঁ
Why people wants to live?
এটাই তো, সবার একটা না কোনো উদ্দেশ্য আছে। তো ইউনিভার্সে কি এর কোনো উদ্দেশ্য থাকবো না, এটাও তো এক ধরনের কোশ্চেন না?
ও এন্ট্রপি করে ইউনিভার্সিটির কি লাভ হইতাছে?
Yeah, ask that question. That's a beautiful question.
উত্তর কি? উত্তরই তো জানা নাই।
উত্তর জানা লাগবো কে? আমরা পেছাল পারুম। That's a very big question. Like he's asking, oh, even an ant, has the cravings to, gather foods. He always runs, jumps, and moves around. All the species have a purpose, like to survive. Then why, yeah, why the universe is
look.
going towards entropy? What does
Alright.
the universe want? Like, if every
So, look.
species has a purpose and direction,
It's a
what is the direction of the universe?
it's a dilemma what you guys have asked, because it's not that the ant is wanting to do something and we humans have a purpose and that's why universe needs to have a purpose. It is that universe wants to increase entropy. That is what's
But
happening,
why?
and because
Why does
of
it-
that we
Yeah.
it seems like we have a purpose,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
through that
that's true.
purpose we are increasing entropy. The
Yeah.
ant, by looking for the food, by getting that food, by walking for the food, it's radiating its own heat, it's eating the food, the digestive system is working, it's increasing the entropy. So it's not a question that whether the ants and humans have a purpose and why the universe doesn't. It is the answer itself, that the universe universe is always increasing the entropy by giving us
all
the
this.
illusion that we have a purpose. Because of we think that I have a purpose, I want to be rich, I want to make big buildings.
Yeah.
That is going to increase entropy. Think of
Yeah.
it. If I become rich, if I make big buildings, if I start wars in countries,
Yeah.
it's going to increase entropy.
Yeah,
So,
that's I think
purpose
that's
is an
the perfect
illusion.
example of the question he
Universe
asked
doesn't need a
about
purpose.
capitalism. Like, you can have those desires and you can build stuff in a capitalistic environment much better. You can create more entropy much better in a capitalistic environment. But in a communism structure, you can't, because you are not allowed to do
And
anything
look-
that you want. Like, there are laws and there are prohibitions. Government will do this. You don't have that much freedom. But in a capitalistic society, you just, like, obviously the human desire is to do all these things, but we think that this is my desire, but it's actually helping the universe to create more chaos, to create more disorder.
And it's also sad, because you might think that, oh,
Sad.
I have a purpose.
Oh, I
the
want
universe
this,
should have
yeah.
purpose. But actually, universe is using you to increase the entropy.
Yeah.
Doesn't need a purpose. Purpose is an illusion.
Yeah.
The universe
Does
is
it make
giving us
sense
the
now?
illusion. Yeah,
Like-
it's sad. We should cry, man.
কিছু তারা মানে একদম অ্যান্সার কি দেওয়া হলো যে হচ্ছে একটা সবকিছুর কন্ট্রোলার আছে যেমন
Like, there is something, like, the question now that you are asking is that why there is entropy. Like, that's the further, like, the bigger question. Like, that will gonna keep on going. Like, why is there that? Why is there that? But right now we are, with the answer we have in science, only this much: that entropy, the laws of the universe, that is entropy. And why is there the laws? Who gave us the law? Who created this law? Like, is there, like, is not, the questions are also human centric, like who, why. But maybe there is something else, like, I don't know, the universe itself might be a being, or
We don't know about the
another answer-
universe, and we are talking about how can we know the.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cause of
create-
the universe. Yeah, the laws.
And
behind
cause and
the
effect
laws.
is also a very human thing. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it need to be there.
Yeah.
Like when we say that how did this mic was made? It was made by a creator, someone who made this mic.
Yeah,
But that's a very human thing. Like, we think in a cause and effect way. We think in this way, but that
yeah.
doesn't
Quantum
mean
physics
it's same
itself
with the
doesn't
universe.
also work like that.
Yeah. So that
So there is a part of the world that exists outside the cause and effect cycle.
yeah.
So that means
And if
that-
someone controls the universe, then who controls him? So why don't we just say the universe is different? It's not about cause and effects.
Yeah.
It's something we
It's a
don't know.
possibility, yeah.
And we don't know if we will
যেটা
ever
দেখা
know.
যায় যে যেমন হচ্ছে তোর ওই যে কি জানি নাম ওইটার কমিউনিজমের ক্ষেত্রে যে হচ্ছে একজন গভর্নমেন্ট কন্ট্রোলার থাকে
হ্যাঁ।
তো ও যায় না হচ্ছে ওর ইচ্ছা হইলো এই বিল্ডিং গুলো বানাইলো বিল্ডিং ধ্বংস করলো তো
But that's less chaos now. One guy controlling the flow of the energy, like, he will have less desire. If you allow everybody to do whatever they want.
I mean, entropy and complexity will
Wait.
keep happening in communism.
Wait.
এই
It's in
ফ্রিডমটা আছে আবার
Like, yeah, in a capitalistic society, you have more minds to create chaos. More minds means more desires, more freedom, more creation. But in a communistic environment, like in communism, you have one guy or one government that will decide what needs to be made, what will you do, which building will be made. Like, this is one guy and he has a limitation of desire. Like,
Yeah, it is.
That's what I mean.
That one guy is also increasing entropy. I mean, communism is also increasing
Yeah,
complexity. It does.
it does
indeed.
create entropy, but it is less.
Capitalism is
than-
more.
Yeah.
Is the king.
আমার কোশ্চেন হলো ওইটাই যে এটার ক্ষেত্রে সেম ভাবে আসে তোর হচ্ছে মানে ইউনিভার্সের ক্ষেত্রে মাইন্ড আছে ও কেমনি করে কন্ট্রোল করতে চাতে গেছে
But that's the thing. Like, okay, now if you think about it, like the way you're describing, like universe doesn't need a, like, all this. Okay, oh, wait. So all these things that we described, does it require a mind controlling stuff, or was it just a law of entropy that is giving all these effects? Like there was only one law. There isn't a mind that is controlling every detail and everything in the process, right? Like there is just one law. Like it's like you created a system and you have let the system loose, like free. Okay, let anything happens in the like.
Yeah, let just entropy happen. Let's
Let's
become
see
disorder.
what happens in the system. Like you just allow the system to evolve the way it can after giving it some laws. So it's like you have seen there are some games, if you allow different AI models to play in a game infinitely, if you just keep the energy flow going in the system, and you have given the AI model some laws, and you have tell it to play chess for eternity. There is no time limit. The mastermind behind all this law, like, these are all anthropomorphication. These are all anthropomorphication of all these laws and all
Yeah.
this universe. and all
Humanizing.
this- humanizing.
Like the
everything.
thing that we're calling purpose, it's just an illusion. It's not real. It's created by human. We're assuming that the ant has a purpose. We're assuming that I have a purpose. I have to make this and that. But the universe is just using us.